Okay, we're recording. So this will be good for everybody. This is the split test. This is how you use the new seller split test option. Okay, so I'm going to go back into screen share. I'm going to go straight into Maria Chen's account because she asked me to use her account. She's out of Monterey, California. And we're going to go as if you were in trial, Maria. So we're going to use the template that everybody starts with on the seller side, but this would be no different than if you were to use a buyer ad, a listing ad, a custom ad, you name it. So click select in the seller property valuation, and you bypass a step altogether. Bypass it. Don't put in Palo Alto. Don't put in your target area. Don't put in anything until you go to this step first. Click next. Now, drop a pin. Drop a pin first and foremost because you're working the 15-mile minimum radius. So in this case, I'm going to type in Monterey because I know that's the area that she wants to be in Monterey, California. And I'm going to show you, you definitely want to open this up. You want to get really clear with 15 miles. And it does absolutely, you know, it's always great when you're near the water because you kind of hack it. You can kind of hack it. You can move this wherever you want to go. But at the end of the day, get clear that wherever you drop the pin, whether it's a zip code, whether it's an address, drop it, open up that so you can see clearly what your north, south, east, and west boundaries are going to be, okay? And that'll show you where Facebook's going to put that ad. So once you're clear with that and you're like, hey, Moss Landing to the north, Notley's Landing, it's going to go all the way into Salinas. I know exactly where this particular one's going to go. Now I'm going to go click exit. And what you do in this circumstance is you click done. Okay. Now, before you click done, I like to copy that address or zip because I'll show you why. But I'm going to click done. I'm going to lock into something called a longitude latitude 36.6002 minus 121. Don't worry about the numbers. That means you've solidified your ad targeting. Now you go back and you go into this little area where you're going to design that ad image when map, and you put, not the Zoom meeting, you put Monterey or whatever that area was. Now, if I put Monterey, California, I'm not going to just put this image in right when it goes in. It's going to be like, okay, that's Monterey, but guess what? You have to adjust it for, that's why you want to get clear with the image you used for the ad targeting. Like you want to make sure, hey, 15 miles, I got to make sure where's that going into. Obviously we decided it went all the way into, we have to zoom out a couple times, went into Salinas, right? So I need to make sure that Salinas is in my boundary, as well as the other areas that we talked about, Notley's Landing, Moss Landing, okay? So I'd adjust that to reflect the 15 miles. I would probably use a satellite just because I like the ocean picture, but you know, you could do both. So the key with the split test is pick one, doesn't matter which one. At some point, you're gonna want to test all of them. You could pick a terrain image, you can go map, you can go satellite. If one doesn't work, you'll do another split test with the other to try to find better results. Now, instead of saying Palo Alto, Monterey, or anything for that matter, because we know there's multiple areas and cities in here, now we're going to go into this little emojipedia.org. I've been using a house with a garden, but you can easily just use a house. And you're going to click copy. It's called emojipedia.org. This was the house with the garden. And instead of saying Monterey there, I'm going to throw in 3 home emojis. Sorry about my dog in the background. 3 home emojis. Now it's going to say, if someone were to buy your home, would you sell it? Find its value in the current market. I've zoomed out the image to reflect the 15 miles. Remember, I did that by going first into the pin drop, solidifying the pin drop, and then designing the ad image with that in mind. Instead of on the Salinas and or Monterey up here in the city neighborhood, I replaced it with emojis because we're talking all 15 miles. Now, at this point, you've got a best practice ad. So you just click next, and now there's the split test feature. So this is the beauty behind it. It defaults at 9, which means that total cost to run this split test would be $27 if you left it running on a daily. But you're only doing that for about 24 hours, maybe up to 48, depending on the way the ad performs early on. But now all I would do is click deploy. And you know, in some markets, 9 isn't good anymore. You have to think about Cali and some of these higher end, you know, $750,000, $800,000 average price point. I might try 12 to 15, to be honest. But you know, we'll just keep it at 9 on this test, and then deploy. I don't like to click on Instagram on the seller side. they combine the stats, so I just keep it on Facebook. And there you go. And now I'm just gonna, basically wait here for a second. And what it'll do, it'll start building all 3 of those ads, including the automations behind it. And so, yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that. That is basically your 3 ad split test. And you can go and hang out and do something while it's waiting, but just wait here until it says you've successfully deployed all 3 ads. And then that's it, guys. That's basically how to set up a split test. And then really, I'm going to stop share for a second. Really, the second you just commonly use, just meet yourself there. Then you're really at that point, you just wait and, maybe wake up the following morning and review your ad performance. See if there's any particular ad, it doesn't always have to let the entire budget spend. Is there any particular ad that if you go and you look at has a high click to contact ratio? Because we want about on these ads, on the seller ads, at least on the seller ads, I'm just talking about the seller ads, whether it's this one or the what's your home really worth ad, we want to see at least a 50% click to contact ratio. We want to see, so let's say I have 5 clicks on that, right? And I've spent $10 and there was a $2 cost per click. Well, did at least 2 to 3 addresses come in? And that's where it's going to show you in the ad performance section, cost per lead. And then I find that 1 in 3 addresses on average give me an email, and 1 in 3 emails give me a phone number. That's why you see that funnel on average across North America sit around a $2 address, $6 email, right? $18 phone number. Like think of that stat, 1 in 3, 1 in 3, 1 in 3. So off and on, that's why we're looking for the lowest cost per click profile. And that really means if any one of those ads has a low cost per click and is getting high click to contact ratios and produces a phone number in the first 24 hours, usually that's the one. That's the one you continue on. And in some cases, when I'm working with people, I could wake up the next morning, let's say I set a $12 ad budget. Well, what appears on the surface on that split test, if I were to do 3 of those, to spend $36 if I kept it on. Well, in a lot of cases, I see, okay, $7 has been spent, $7 has been spent, $7 has been spent. I did this for a gal yesterday, and I woke up and I saw 6 for 6 on clicks, $7. She had like $1.12 cost per click. So 6 addresses came in, 3 emails, and a phone number on that particular one of those ads. I'm like, that's the one. You found it. Pause the other 2, and that's how you find your ad performance. So that would be. I'm going to stop my. And by the way, this I'm going to share my screen for one more second. Now this is done. Okay. So for any of you that are in a full account, what do you do? If that doesn't work, you just split test again. Now here's what I've been seeing work really well. This funnel is phenomenal for trials. What do you do if you're in a full account? Well, I personally always like to go to my settings, hit up assets, which is where all my pictures are sending. And this is, of course, if you're in a live account. And if you built a split test, open that last picture up. Let's just say it was this guy right here, right? Drag it onto your computer because you're going to want to use another funnel. What's the funnel you want to use? Surprise, surprise. Even better performing right now on the seller side in the full accounts is this what's your home really worth conversion template. So the beauty behind this one, it's averaging a lot lower cost per lead, a lot lower cost per email and phone number. Not significantly lower, but very nice. I mean, about $1.97, $5.37 email, $1.97 address, and about a, in this case, I'm looking at a $16 phone number. So a couple of dollars, by far, 63.5% click to contact on average. Now, with that being said, you can upload whatever image you want into here, but you need to split that as well. So if you're going to do like a really beautiful landscape image of Monterey and the surrounding areas, you know, in Vegas, it could be the Strip. It could be anything that you want to put in there. It could be a home. Find a high resolution JPEG image to upload. Don't do any stock image. But I would rather you also test and upload that map photo that I just dragged onto my computer, because it's a great variation and what I call an A/B test of what we did for the, if someone were to buy your home, would you sell it? Now we're dropping it into the what's your home really worth funnel. This one's basically saying enter your address, receive your home value. And now you drop the pin the same way, a lot easier. Monterey, California in this case. And, I would split test that as well. Click done. Next, I'm going to do a 3-ad split test for this particular person and deploy. I just sit back and relax and wake up the following morning, and I've got really an A/B test and a split test. And I choose really the winner. You spend a little bit more up front just so you can find the profile you're looking for, the ad performance. But it's my way personally of finding ad performance faster. And this applies for buyers, this applies for listings, it applies for really any ad you're running. So I'm going to stop my recording, at least on here. And